everyone, I am back. I know I've been a little MIA on the videos, and my last one, it was okay, but not where I wanted it to, but I'm keeping it up anyway. Um, we are on our Savannah, dear Lord, our Nevada tour. And in this video, all of you might know him, or at least seen him on TV, but he is known for the love and the paranormal, and his truly spine-chilling travel channel show, Ghost Adventurers. Zach Mingmans is now the proud caretaker, I think that's the right word, of the Haunted Museum in Las Vegas. Have seen hundreds of supposedly haunted, cursed, and paranormally active objects. The museum is concentrated of the haunted items and artifacts from literally all over the world. Zach Bagans developed an interest in the paranormal at just 10 years old, where he used to store garage and estate sales with his mother to find odd collectibles. The fascination soon turned into a lifelong pursuit in answering about the afterlife. The thing about that is, if you watch the very beginning of Ghost Adventures, in the intro, he said, "I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one." And I don't know if he meant at the hotel he was staying at in Nevada at the time, or when he was a kid. So, with that being said, with his unmatched knowledge and expertise from people from all over have come to the museum to ask Zach to take their haunted objects. The building that the museum is built is haunted all on its own. Built in 1930, it was owned by the businessman Shirley Wengert, and rumors tell that he used to perform rituals in the basement. Consisting of 33 rooms, the Haunted Museum houses some of the Earth's most cursed dolls, pictures, ancient artifacts, a dimit box, and pretty much anything else you can think of is in this museum. The dimit box is a box with a ghost inside. Based off of a Jewish mythology and history, a dimit box is a restless and usually malicious spirit that can possess the living. There is one dimit box in particular that found its way to Zach's museum. Passed around from a few times before it came to Vegas, this box was originally purchased in an estate sale in 2001. It belonged to a Holocaust survivor in Poland named Hevela, who had purchased it in Spain before immigrating to the United States. Upon hearing that the box was a family heirloom, the estate sale purchaser tried to give the money back, but the family refused. They said they no longer wanted the box and it should never be opened. It contained a powerful dimit. Throwing caution to the wind, the box was opened by the buyer. Inside, two 1920 pennies, a block of blonde hair, and a lock of brown hair was found, as well as a small statue, a wine goblet, one dried rosebud, and a small candle holder. The buyer of the box was starting to experience horrifying nightmares shortly after he came into possession of the box. He began to grow tired of the box and gave it to his mother as it lived, hoping it was safe for her didn't open it. But she suffered a stroke the same day he gave her the box. Everyone who has opened the box reports the smell of cat urine and jasmine flowers surrounding the box, as well as the nightmare of an old hag once they acquired the box. The vintage wine cabinet inspired the movie The Possession. Shortly after it arrived at the museum, mysterious holes began to appear in the walls around the artifact, almost as if something was attempting to break from the inside. A Vegas market exclusive, as well as many visitors, have witnessed a larger-than-life black-cloaked figure hovering around the box itself. Dr. Kevlinkin was born on May of 1928 in the American pathologist. He championed terminal patients' right to die by the physician-assisted suicide. He always stated that dying is not a crime, and pushed the medical world into introduce elective enthusiasts and human beings. Kevlin admitted to assisting over 130 patients that was convicted of murder in 1999. He has been nicknamed Dr. Death because of his views. In 1998, Kevlin was arrested and tried for a cause of volunteering enthusiasm. He administered on a man named Thomas Yoke from suffered from Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS. While all this seems manslaughter at best, the problem started to arise when patients who were not terminally ill, as well as patients who didn't ask for amnesia, began to die under Dr. Kevlin's care. He counseling with patients did not consist of psychiatric exams to understand if the patients were truly wanted to end their lives or even understood what the word meant. With the mind, most patients were given a month to consider their decision and change their minds if they wanted. Dr. Kev videotaped interviews with the patients and videotaped the suicides which he called medicines, who were does the VW van come into play. Dr. Kevlin used the van to administrate the lethal doses of drugs intended to carry out the assisted suicides. There was a small bed in the back of the rusting van that patients took their final breaths on. The sadness and hopelessness the van witnessed is unspeakable. Regardless of any options of medically assisted suicide, it is horrifying to think of patients who didn't understand the weight of their agreement, taking their last breath in an old Volkswagen next to Dr. Death. The van sits in the haunted museum now, attracting visitors' attention and emanating the energies that marinated in while the van was in use. Notorious for the potent paranormal activity before being the smallest in 2014. The Demon House in Indiana was home to dark forces of the supernatural happenings. And I have to say, I've seen the episode of Zach Bagans when he was at the Demon House. I am so glad he demolished that house. No one wanted to go in. And honestly, I wouldn't go in it either. It was cursed. And while curses, what you think might not be real, that house was a real curse. The story starts in Gary, Indiana, where a mother claimed that her 3 youngest children became possessed by demons that reside in the home. Soon after they arrived, it was reported that a swarm of large black flies began appearing around the house. Number 1, red flag. Responding after numerous attempts to get rid of them by pest control. Second red flag. Footsteps in the basement and the opening and closing of doors followed soon after that. After minor strange occurrences started to spook the family, it was reported that the children lived in the home became possessed. Their eyes bulged with voices saying, and they had twisted faces. The 9-year-old boy described that it felt like to be killed and walked up a wall impression of the caseworker and the mental health specialist. The 7-year-old boy clenched his hands around the brother's throat, choking him, and needed the 2 adults to pry him off. The girl reportedly hovered above her bed while unconscious. The children later received mental health counseling and were found to be sound mind and body. Then they described what it felt like to be possessed in the home. Some described as a choking pain, others felt nauseous. After hearing the story and happenings here, Zach Bagan actually bought the haunted home in 2014 and bulldozed the entire property due to the evil inhabitants. Needing the new exhibit for his museum, he salvaged the home's staircase and brought it to the museum. The banister and steps of the home staircase now sits in a dingy corner of the museum, resting on a small pile of dirt from the original house. Construction workers who installed it at the haunted museum refused to come back after walking off the site in the middle of the job. Who knows precisely what could have witnessed to spook them that bad. Visitors to the museum feel extreme nausea and even faint nearby the staircase without realizing the history. The demonic entities from the Indiana home follow the staircase materials all the way to Venus. Now, would I want to see Zach Bagan's haunted museum? Yes and no. I want to, but I don't want anything following me home. And from all the items that he has in the museum, from the shows that he's been in, and you.